Secretary Sean Spicer when he took over. A lot of news coming out of there. Hello, everyone. I'm Sandra Smith. We've got Matt Schlapp, chairman of the American Conservative Union, joining us right now. Simon Rosenberg is president and founder of the New Democrat Network and former campaign advisor for President Bill Clinton. Good of both of you to hang on here. We've only got a few minutes left, Matt. I want to get your take on what you just heard, because Tom Price did lead things off, and he was really trying to sell this new GOP health care plan. Did this help convince some of those that are even on the right that are skeptical of what has been unveiled?
Well, first of all, Tom Price has a stellar conservative voting record. His ACU voting record is in the high 90s. He is reassuring. He's a doctor. He's an expert on this policy. He always led the charge in the House, and he reminds conservatives that this is how it starts, and it isn't necessarily how it ends, but there are principles that we have to lay out, and I think he did a great job of explaining those.
Simon, he was pressed on whether he supports every aspect of this bill. He has said it has been a work in progress, that President Trump and his administration support this step in what they believe is in the right direction. He said that we will work with House and Senate in this process. What did you make of what you heard?
Well, I think, as Matt said, this is clearly a first step, because there's already lots of Republican opposition, not just Democratic opposition. You heard the Heritage Foundation and some of the Freedom Caucus members have come out against this bill today, and we know there are at least 4 Republican senators who have already publicly come out against it. So this thing is in a little bit of trouble, and my guess is that, over the next 6 months, 9 months, the Republicans will have to come together around some modified version of this. And I will say the final point is that I do want to take exception to something Sean Spicer said, which is he said we weren't jamming this thing through. There is no CBO score. We have no idea how much this is going to cost. Nothing like this has ever happened in the modern history of Congress.
Right.
No, but they're asking people to vote on it before they actually know the cost. That's not a conservative thing, Matt.
All right, so hold on. Guys, I've only got a few minutes with you, and there's so much other news breaking. FBI Director James Comey, who was at a ribbon-cutting ceremony at a new FBI office in Boston. We were watching and monitoring some comments. We thought maybe he would talk, obviously, to the wiretapping allegations that are coming from the president. I want to show you how he led off his brief comments at that ribbon-cutting ceremony. Listen to this.
I think right at the beginning, though, I should hit an issue that I know is on the minds of many, and that is controversial, so I should speak to it directly. I am a New York Giants fan.
He got us all, Matt. We were all listening. And, of course, he is currently asking the DOJ to dispute those allegations. So a funny moment, at least, coming from the FBI director.
Yeah, I don't actually think there's much funny about this, to be quite honest. I think Jim Comey has a huge credibility problem, and I think that I'm glad the House and Senate Intelligence Committees are looking at this, because all the reports I've seen on the fact that it was understood that there were wiretaps and people being monitored and surveilled by the government, all of a sudden everyone's acting like it's a crazy idea to think that people were being surveilled. And I think everybody wants answers, and they want them fast.
Well, Sean Spicer was asked if the president supports FBI Director James Comey just a few moments ago, and his response was, I have no reason to believe otherwise, Simon.
Yeah, look, what can be true is that it can be true that there was surveillance, and it can also be true that Barack Obama had nothing to do with it, right? Because presidents don't actually direct these things, and they're walled off from these decisions that happen way outside the purview of the President of the United States on bills that were passed by Ronald Reagan in the early 1980s, right? So I do think my own view on this is there was actual surveillance, but the president is wrong to blame Barack Obama for what happened.
All right, I want to get this in as well, because while all of this was going on, the FBI director talking, Tom Price, Sean Spicer, Lindsey Graham, the senator from South Carolina, was actually meeting and having lunch with the president. He tweeted this when he came out of that meeting. He said, how good was the meeting with POTUS? I gave him my new cell phone number, Matt Schlapp. And, of course, that is a reference to that infamous moment on the campaign trail when then campaigning Donald Trump gave out his cell phone number.
I think Lindsey Graham should be careful, because it's just Donald Trump who's going to be on that line, apparently. Could be somebody else, too.
All right, fair enough. Simon, last word to you.
I'm sure it was an interesting meeting. Lindsey Graham has been very tough on Trump on this Russia stuff, and I'm sure they cleared the air today.
All right, yeah, and a lot coming out of that, and he is currently tweeting about that. Everybody's busy this afternoon. Thanks to you.